morning and you've had a few. That's why you go to that race. Yeah, I'm just saying. There is better pizza in New York, trust me. All right, coming up on the right here, we have an M&M store because, of course, you can't get M&Ms everywhere else in the world. Absolutely not. No, but I know I'm joking around, but truthfully, fantastic places. I think on 46th, 47th Street on the left side, go to Havana Central. No cover, nice little cocktails and appetizers. Definitely do some dancing. You know, it's crowded because of course it's Times Square, but it's fun. I've done that a couple of times. Around the corner on the right, you may see the largest Krispy Kreme in the world, which you may know if you see it. It has a waterfall of glaze going over the donuts, which is either wonderful or disgusting, depending on how you point of view. Got so much to show you here, folks. You're going to see straight ahead the TKTS booth in Times Square. We get those discounted tickets, in some cases 50% off, half price. But it's first come, first served. And that queue, that line can be rather long. Oh, on the right there, Bluefin, really good food there. As you can see, seafood, it will be pricey though, be aware of that. Now you can see over there, you can see those characters on the right, Elmo, Spider-Man, Mickey Mouse, right? You've heard about them? You do know that they are very pleasant, children love them, but you know they get a little aggressive if you don't tip them. There's a story a couple years ago that one of those characters was arrested because apparently this individual punched somebody because they apparently did not tip them. It turns out that person was an undercover police officer. Oops. Now, here's the thing. I and our driver, absolutely, we love tips at the end of the tour, but don't worry. You don't tip us, we won't get angry. Maybe a little sad inside. It's okay, it's a different story. All right, so much to show you. Down the block, of course, is One Times Square with the famous Waterford crystal ball that goes up that pole 1 minute before midnight on the 31st of December. Crowd estimates say that as many as 2 million people, 2 million people will celebrate Times Square.
Hey, we have to come back
New
here.
Year's in Times Square, right in the middle of Times Square, middle of winter.
Yeah, got it.
I, however, will be in my house relaxing with my cat. Much more enjoyable. Happy to watch it on TV. So much to check out down the block on the left. We can catch a glimpse of the ABC studios, which of course broadcast the popular American television program Good Morning America. Later in the tour, we will go to Rockefeller Center, which of course shows the NBC studios and the Today Show, and again another popular program in the States. Always have to qualify that because we may have some international guests here, correct? All right. Coming up on the right, soon to be our left, we have the Minskoff Theater playing. You guys know about The Lion King, right? Since 1997, was originally on 42nd Street. Highest grossing musical in history, over $2 billion in ticket sales. Incredible.
That's good.
It's amazing because I thought they already saw the movie. It's amazing. Coming up on the left here, we got Schubert Alley. Just love this, all these great theaters. And again, to be a Broadway theater, you don't just open up a theater. Number one, you need to have at least 500 seats in your venue, and two, you have to be registered with the American Theater Wing. Only those theaters are eligible for the annual Tony Awards. On the right here, this area used to be a flea market, but as you can see now, it's going to be a big old, big high-rise coming up soon. Makes sense. Down the block, we have the Al Hirschfeld Theater playing Moulin Rouge. You've heard about that? Also, can you see over here in the corner, Iron Bar? Okay, so I want to give you a lesson why it is never good to mess with a tour guide. Because about 6 years ago, I went to Iron Bar one night, and they watered down my drink. Somebody said, hey, this drink is watered down. I was like, yeah, this is. I said something, they denied it. Came back the next night, it was watered down again. All I can say is, do what you will with that information. And if you feel like telling your friends, hey, I understand. See? All right, by the way, also down the block on 9th Avenue, a whole slew of international restaurants from 42nd Street all the way up to 56th Street. Everything from Mexican to Malaysian classic American home cooking as well. A little bit of everything if you want to do that. Definitely worth checking out. There's even a bar on 43rd Street called Rudy's, which goes back to the 1930s. This again for those 21 and over on the tour. You can grab a pitcher of beer for as little as $12. And you can even get free hot dogs with your beer. Wait, I didn't say good hot dogs. I said free hot dogs. Oh, okay, I gotta write that one. That was popular. Oh, also connecting that on the left is going to be Restaurant Row. By the way, remember I say how I'm straight up? Slice of New York pizza. Yeah, I felt like I was a tourist trap. Didn't care for it too much. Sorry, but I didn't. Up the block here on the right, in the little corner there, across street from the Richard Rodgers Theater, playing, of course, Hamilton. Guess what? There's a little place called Pizzeria. It's a little hole in the wall. There's not even really the seats, but I love it. I used to get a nice greasy slice there. Just delicious. Oh, so good. Greasy slice. Still there after all these years. Pizzeria. I know I have to restrain myself a little bit because years ago I was doing a tour and I talked to a young boy. And I said, what do you think of the tour? And you know how kids are just wrecked. And he's like, I like your tour. He said, but you talk so much about food. I'm hungry. I just love children. This is like I got intelligence there. All right. So much to see here. Oh, on the right here, Engine 54, Ladder 4, Battalion 9, the pride of Midtown. This is a great fire engine company. They, of course, they service the Midtown Broadway area. Lost 15 members on the 11th.
Oh.
Also on the left here, Steam Buns Ramen. If everyone want to get some great dumplings, you want to go to Chinatown, just there on Steam Bun Ramen. Hey, on the left here we have Worldwide Plaza. This is where 1962 screen legend Marilyn Monroe sang, "Happy birthday, Mr. President," to then U.S. President John F. Kennedy. That was when it was Madison Square Garden. Coming up around the corner on the right here, in a moment, we'll see, of course, the Gershwin Theater, the largest of our Broadway theaters, playing Wicked. You guys know about Wicked? 20 years on Broadway this year.
Wow. Untold
Story of the Witches of Oz. Just out of curiosity, whose first time in New York ever? Oh, okay. This is important. So, just give you a little general geographic understanding of the island. So you may notice you see W's around here. We're on the west side of Manhattan. We're on 8th Avenue. All the way over there, 5th Avenue, dividing line between east and west. And we're actually technically in what's known as Midtown Manhattan. So you may know the street. You may have heard about the dividing of the streets. If you're downtown, you're going to be below 14th Street. So 14th and below. 14th to 59th Street is Midtown, where we're in, and of course we're heading uptown toward, of course, uptown Manhattan. Makes sense? Oh, coming up on the left there, China Gourmet. That's one of my guilty pleasures once a month. I like to get a nice greasy plate of General Tso's chicken. It's so bad, but it's so good. What can I say? All right, coming up around the left here, we have Westerly. That's for decades. People can gain their vitamins. And coming up on the right there, check it out. That's now it's Theater 54, but it used to be the notorious nightclub Studio 54. Remember from the 70s and 80s? It was so popular, people were literally dying to get in there. Yeah, they found some guy in the ventilation shaft, but he was wearing a tuxedo. Always say, if you're gonna go out and stop. There you go. Don't worry. And by the way, for any moms out there, that is as dark as my tour gets, I assure you. All right, coming up on the left here, this is going to be the Hearst Corporation Tower. The bottom 6 stories built for William Randolph Hearst in the early 1930s. But during the Great Depression, he ran out of money. See the wonderful lobby there with the waterfall. On the right here, we have Billionaires Row. We'll catch a little bit more of it when we come into Central Park in a minute. So the tallest residential buildings, certainly in the Western Hemisphere. And down the block, of course, is going to be Columbus Circle, the statue and colonnade to Christopher Columbus, dedicated in 1892 by the Italian-American community. That's over there. For the shoppers out there, yeah, Nordstrom just finally. Also, if you swing around here on the left, you'll see the Deutsche Bank Center, originally the Time Warner Center, which has everything here from a nightclub to an art gallery to supermarket. It's just really a little bit of everything here. And yeah, great viewing of the neighborhood as well. Oh, by the way, you may have heard there's the one and only Central Park, 843 acres, nearly a quarter of a mile, kilometer wide, 2.5 miles, 3 kilometers long. Makes up nearly 20% of the entire service area of Manhattan Island. And also coming up over here, yep, this is the Trump International, I think, Hotel and Tower. I just saw recently the comedy again, Tower Heist with Ben Stiller, Eddie Murphy. All right, folks, so we're coming up here. This is going to be Broadway, the longest street in Manhattan. Originally, a Native American hunting trail that was expanded by the Dutch in the New Amsterdam era. And it goes all the way from the bottom of the island to the top. This area, of course, you can see becomes a two-sided boulevard. Now, here's an interesting thing. I'm going to talk in a second about one of the world's most famous performing arts complexes. Of course, that's going to be Lincoln Center. But here's the thing. People get so excited by what's on the right. There's a little street sign that just says Sesame Street. I can't tell you how many times I'm talking about the Metropolitan Opera. I'm talking about all the here. Sesame Street, ooh. So yes, on the right will be Sesame Street. So we'll see Lincoln Center over there on the left. On the far left around the corner will be the David H. Cope Theater for the dance performances. In the middle will be the Metropolitan Opera House, over 6,000 seats, largest opera house in the world. And on the near right there on the left will be the David Geffen Hall for the orchestral performances. Now you notice the two Davids, right? David H. Cope, David Geffen. It is actually a coincidence, but an expensive one. Each of those respected Davids gave $100 million to have their names on the building. You can see the statue of Italian poet Dante Alighieri over there. You can also see in the space there that's what the plaza made famous, of course, in the romantic comedy Moonstruck. You know, Cher meets Nicolas Cage. On the left here, we're going to see the Alice Tully Hall, and we'll also see over there the Juilliard School, one of the great performance schools of the world. Of course, you may know actors like Oscar Isaac and Adam Driver from the recent Star Wars movies. Also, some of us might remember the original Superman, Christopher Reeve. Stayed there back in the day. And some people get this. You know who Christopher Reeve's dorm mate was at Juilliard back in the day? Funny man Robert Williams. You may have heard the story that in the 1990s, Christopher Reeve had a really bad riding accident. He was paralyzed, and Robin Williams stepped in to pay his medical bills. Boy, I tell you something. If I had a friend, something like that happened to me, I think the guy would give me $20. Say, hey, good luck. Which is still pretty nice, you know. Still. And you can see on the right here, a nice little open air market, which is kind of nice, right? Fresh pasta. Oh yeah, I bought from some of these open air markets. They're great. Now, there are a lot of cultural centers around here. You'll see bookstores, movie theaters. Coming up on the left here, you can see the Apple Store, not the original one, but old enough that the late Steve Jobs himself hand-selected the marble that you can see over there from Italy. And we're going to have some tremendous buildings here on the Upper West Side. If you look down the block, you'll see the Ansonia from the early 1900s, all the way down there. We're going to turn over and see that in a little bit. The Ansonia, very eccentric builder. Mr. Stokes, he actually put chickens and livestock on the roof. And so the tenants could have fresh eggs every morning. That's, of course, until the Board of Health said, knock it off. Makes sense, right? Now we got another phenomenal building coming up in the right side will be the Doralton, not this block but the next block. You'll notice that a lot of times I will give you a little extra minute to take a look at it because sometimes, you know, something takes a second to focus or you want to get your camera out. On the right there we'll see the Doralton coming up across the street in a second. Gotta wait for the traffic. And it often tops polls as one of the top architecturals of New York. And you'll see why, particularly flamboyant building here on the right. And again, what I love about the Upper West Side, there's so much to check out. For example, you go on 80th Street and Broadway, you might go to Eli's A-Bars, you might get nice smoked salmon, some good stuff. Also, a couple blocks north here, you guys